Hey guys, Will's Garage here. Welcome to another episode of the E92 M3 track build. As you can see, my car is sitting on leveling pads right now, getting ready to be corner balanced and aligned. But unfortunately, my plans got a little bit derailed. As you can see here, the rear is sitting very low. For me, personally, I want it to be higher. And I currently have 7-inch springs in the rear. I maxed out the height. So I ordered 8-inch springs and they're on their way. Unfortunately, it's been a couple weeks now, so my car's been sitting here stuck in the garage and the springs have not even shipped yet. I don't know what's going on there. But anyways, in the meantime, I'm going to be mounting these reservoirs. And as you saw in the previous episode, I already filled them up with nitrogen. How I'm going to mount them for the rear, I've got a set of these Scott reservoir mounts, and they are really neat because they have an exact cutout that fit the shape of the JRZ RS Pro reservoirs, and they are really nice quality, expensive for what they are, but very nice. So the exterior piece right here, as you can see, is made out of metal. And the interior piece looks like it's some kind of 3D printed material that fits perfectly on here. Now for mounting, looks like there's several ways and places to mount in the rear. Actually, from what I can tell, mounting the front reservoirs, that's the tricky part. But we'll get to that later on. For these, I've kind of looked around in the rear right here and think there's like a few places you can mount it. I've seen people mount it along the sides, like right here and right here. Or maybe if you want a stealthy look, you can mount it underneath inside the battery compartment. But for me, I think I'm going to mount it right underneath the rear deck right here. So it sits something like this. Alright, so here's what they look like mounted. And I didn't plan for it to be kind of angled up. If I really want to make it straight later on, I think I might just move it over here where the surface is completely flat. Alright, so coming towards the front now, which is much trickier. I've been thinking real hard on where to mount the front canisters, and ideally where I wanted to mount the front canisters was in this drain area right here. And I've seen people do it before, but for some reason I wasn't able to fit the canister in here and be able to close the hood. And what it came down to ultimately was this metal piece right here. This thing just gets in the way of fully fitting the canister into this hole. Now I don't know why or how other people have done it. Maybe the earlier model M3s didn't have this metal piece sticking out, but for me, it just doesn't work at all. So the other method was to mount it up here, which is what I'm going to do. So originally I had the hose routed on the outside right here, but then that wasn't enough length to set the canister this high up. So then if you're doing this, you're going to have to likely route it through this area right here. In order to access this, there is a rubber piece that you're just gonna have to remove. I'm gonna probably have to cut into this just to make room for this the hose. The other thing is, for the mounts, I was just about to purchase the same mounts that I use in the rear, which were the Scott mounts, but those were extremely expensive. So I looked around and I found these mounts right here. These are made by Build Journal. Now these were specifically made for MCS canisters. But I purchased them just to try them out anyways, and unsurprisingly they do not fit perfectly, but I think I should be able to make them work. So they don't fit because the MCS canisters are wider in diameter. So as you can see here, if I put it down right here, there's kind of a gap in between, but I think I should be able to make it work because these have a groove, as you can see right here, that lines up perfectly with the groove on the JRZ canisters right here. And it should be just enough to be able to hold the canister securely in place. On the passenger side, it's a little bit different. There's an air quality sensor that is in this position. I just removed it, and since I'm not going to be using the stock cabin filters anymore, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this piece out because it's in the way. There you go. There's everything installed. Alright, so this is the final result. Everything's mounted up and secured. As you can see here, nice and secure. It's not going anywhere. Pretty happy with the result. If I were to do it again, I'd probably get the build journal mounts, even though it's made for MCS canisters. As you can see, you can make it work for JRZ as well, and they're just much cheaper. But yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. Stay tuned for more. I'm going to be doing the corner balancing and alignment on the car next as soon as I get the rear springs, whenever that is going to ship. But yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace.